Hey, sis.
Hey, sis. Hello.
And hey, y'all. Welcome back to Hold Up. Let me call.
Let me call my sis.
Ew. I'm your girl, T
What
Jamaica Pogue,
up?
affectionately known as Deconstructing Nero.
And what up? What up? I am LaMia Radiant. That's it.
All right. Big sister. What's been going on with you?
Man, a lot and nothing at the same time. You know when you know how it is when you're like so busy you don't really know how to explain everything that's going on. And look at me, got a stain on my shirt already.
Oh, God.
So it's like I'm not doing nothing because then that would just be nothing. But I'm also doing so many different things, kind of, sorta, particularly today or like this week. Um, I have my normal day to day work stuff. Um, but then like juggling like stuff with my child and his activities, and um we're doing our podcast. And then I guess the one thing I will mention to folks if they get to listen is once a month at this point. I'm gonna try to make it twice a month soon. Um, I do co-host a radio show in Atlanta, a local radio show. So if you're not in Atlanta, you might not be able to hear it, but there is a streaming. So if you follow our our social media at let me call my sis, or if you follow me personally, I will be putting up a link for you to listen to all of the episodes that I've been on for the radio station. It's 89.3 in Atlanta. I forget what it's like WF something. Sorry, but I'll put the link up, guys. And it's a jazz segment with this gentleman named Curtis Bird. So from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. is where we go live, and it's all jazz. And for those who know me, jazz might be like foreign. It's like jazz. But secretly, as a dancer and as an overall artist, a Black American artist, a lot of what we do artistically is drenched in jazz. It comes from jazz. It's derivative of jazz. Much of hip hop is derived from like tap. Like as a dancer, it's derived from tap. It's derived so much of our Black dance comes from even like African roots, and those
Mhm.
translated into jazz. Those translated into country music as Queen Bee has taught us, right? There's a lot of things that a lot of American culture at the end of the day boils down to Black culture.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And so it's
Yeah.
not very foreign for me to be on this radio show. And when I'm there, I kind of like similar to here, I kind of play devil's advocate where I'm like, teach me about jazz. I kind of let the main host. I ask him a lot of questions around certain artists and history and all that stuff. And this time I'm going in with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more like research that I've done just slightly. And so we'll be
Mhm.
able to like banter and bounce things back. But I mostly use it to promote things that are going on at my job. And so it kind of works that way as well. So yeah, 89.3 in Atlanta, 10 p.m. If you're in the area. I want to say there's some folks in like the Carolinas that hear us too. So you might not have to be local to Atlanta. I think it might go like certain parts of Georgia and like South Carolina even. Um, but yeah, so that would be the newest thing going on this week.
That's what's up. And yeah, there's a link for a online stream, right?
Yes, there is. I will attach
So
that.
yeah, we'll make sure we leave the link in the description. Go ahead and check out Big
Absolutely.
Sister LaMia Radiant on the old school radio waves.
Old
Radio
school.
waves.
Real talk.
Yes.
Real talk.
That's exciting though, like, cause yeah, like radio is still a big thing. Like as much as we have like podcasts and streaming services and things like that, like I feel like nothing can 100% replace the experience of having that ability to like interact in real time with
Mhm.
people Because with a podcast, most of the time, unless you're doing like live streaming or whatever, you're just listening to a conversation that's already been had. It's not like something that you can impact or even witness developing in the moment like you can
Right.
with radio. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
interesting.
Daniel. What about you? What's been popping?
Nothing much. Like, I wanted to do a little more traveling this summer before I had to go back to work, but the way money is looking, it's looking like that's not really gonna be a thing.
Mm.
I'm still glad that I chose not to work this summer, but it was a drastic reduction in
Mhm.
income. So yeah, but at least I know now what to expect for like next summer. And then also going into the school year, I have like a 3 month head start on
Mm.
like making good money because I didn't start until till like the last week of October. And that was as a bus aide, making like $10 less an hour than I make
Oh,
now.
true, true.
And then I was doing that the whole time that I was in training to get my license, to get my, commercial driver's license and all the endorsements that I need to drive a school bus.
Right.
So that was like I didn't get my license until the day before Thanksgiving last year. And then we were off for Thanksgiving break, so I really didn't start until the beginning of December.
Right.
As a driver. So, being able to start the school year off at the
Mhm.
better rate and with the kind of like hours I began, I'm looking forward to those checks again. Those were very adorable. And
Mm.
yeah, it'll help set me up for next summer when I plan to be traveling a lot.
Can you do anything locally, like a kind of like local getaway thing in, before you start
Oh
work?
yeah, absolutely. Like, I either like so last summer me, mommy, and CJ did like a quick little day trip down to Cape May.
Mm.
And that was so cute because, like, it had been years since I've been to Cape May. And I think that was mommy's first time in Cape May. And it was cute. Like, Cape May, it was definitely lively, but it wasn't like overcrowded and oversaturated like how,
And
Wildwood,
ACB.
AC, Wildwood,
Yeah.
Seaside Heights, and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, but it also has like a lot of these cute little like bed and breakfasts and like little, so we went down there and we only went down there for the day. So like we went and had lunch at this one restaurant that was inside a bed and breakfast, and it was so cute. And we had the best cocktail any of
Mhm.
us have ever had. It was so damn good that it's been almost a year, and we keep talking about it. We'd be like, "Yo, we need to go back just for that drink." It was like
Mm.
they must have slipped a little crack in that shit because we been sitting there since. I'm dead
That's lit.
ass. But we were like, yeah, maybe we'll go down there, but this time make it a whole weekend and like stay at that bed and breakfast. And
Mm.
then, have a little bit more time down there because it was literally like only a couple blocks from the beach. It was kind of like perfect, like literally like 2 or 3 blocks from the beach. So perfect location to like just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's something cute I could do or we can do.
'Cause I
But
remember Cape May
yeah.
has a cute little zoo down there too, if I remember correctly. It's been probably decades at this point, because I remember going in, like, middle school, so
Yeah, I remember we went on a field trip. I don't
yeah.
know if the zoo is still down there, but I remember what you're
Mhm,
talking about. They also
mhm.
had that lighthouse.
They do. Ooh, they do. I do remember that, yeah. Remember you was telling me you dropped some kids off at, what's that place we used to go to all the time as kids? And Storybook Land or some shit like
Oh
that?
no! Oh yes, yes, I did. I
Yeah.
took some kids to Streaming Land, but
Mhm.
I thought you were about to say, oh damn! It just, why did it just?
Oh,
Oh my
God.
god, that place that's on 38 up in like Mount Laurel or like what's that like Morristown Funplex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The indoor thing? The indoor, like,
Indoor slash outdoor because it has like the bumper boats
oh.
instead of bumper cars.
Okay. Okay.
Fun
Yeah, no,
blank.
no. Storybook land to
Yeah.
me is it's like a time. It's like you, for some reason in my mind, when I think about going to Storybook land, it feels like going somewhere that's like trapped in time.
Yeah.
It's
It's like a time
because it's
capsule.
probably exactly the way we remember it, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't go inside because, like, unlike
Mm.
the zoo, because I took two different people, two different groups to the zoo. The zoo lets bus drivers in for free. Because, firstly,
Uh,
that's the only place to use the bathroom is to go
why wouldn't you?
inside. Right, exactly. The only place to use the bathroom is to go inside. And once you're inside, you're inside. And so they let me in without, like, anything. But at Storybook Land, there's a bathroom before you even get inside the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't even, like, try to go
Go
inside or, like,
in.
say, yeah,
I
because,
would
like
be so curious to see, like, y'all audience. When I tell you that Storybook Land is literally like the most archaic ass place you could think of, it was archaic when I went as a child, and I felt like that then. I was like, why is everything just like wooden? It's like oversized wooden dolls
well,
in my
that's
mind.
because that shit's been around for a minute. I remember when I was
Yeah.
taking the kids there, it was like, I don't know if she was one of the teachers or, like, a nurse, I can't remember, but she was an older lady, and she was like, "Yeah, Storybook Land's been around since I was in school."
And
And
that
I
ass,
was
I believe it. That shit like
exactly.
it
She was
really
like,
makes
"That was in,
me
like, the
believe it.
'60s." I was like, "God
We should look
damn."
that up. Look, yo, audience, look up Storybook Land in what part of
I think it's
Jersey?
Egg Harbor Township. Hold on, I'm
Girl.
on. Obviously, we're on a computer. Let me
Oh
see.
yeah.
Storybook link.
So that motherfucker is crazy. It's like in my mind, when I think of Storybook Land, I just see
Yes, Egg
like
Harbor Township.
Russian dolls, like that look.
Uh huh.
That's what everything looks like. And it's just different like stories that we all know type shit,
Damn.
but in like
This shit
large wooden
opened. This shit
and
older than
where.
Daddy. It opened in 1955.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit
Celebrating
like
our
70,
70th season, they
80.
say.
I was about to say it's like 70 years old. That's crazy. That's
Nuts.
crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited. I was like, "Oh my god!" And then when I found out that, like, no, they don't really let you in. You can go to the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom outside. I was like, "Okay, I guess." It was hot as hell too. Like, if it was a decent day, I might have tried it, but that day it was ignorant hot. Like, they call it in
Mm-hmm.
the bus driving community, they call it swamp ass season.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because most of our fucking school buses don't have air conditioning, which is annoying.
It's
Um,
2025, almost 2026. Why is there buses still being operated that don't have
Most
air
of our
conditioning?
school buses don't have air conditioning. The only buses that are guaranteed to have air conditioning are the handicap buses, or
Mhm.
minivans, and these like fancy black top Thomas buses that like
Okay.
use are usually used when like things get chartered or like
Mhm.
certain reasons. I've driven one a couple times. They're really nice, but they have all the bells and whistles. Every other bus, like, and my bus is one of the nicer, newer buses. It's one of the few buses that's still under the manufacturer's warranty. Like, that's
Okay.
how, yeah, because like a lot of our buses are well over 100,000 miles. My bus is under 100,000 miles. And I have
Mhm.
a front and rear view camera. Most of the buses don't have cameras.
How they add all of those things?
And no fucking AC. Bitch, I be sweating my
I don't get
fat
it.
back off. I swear to God, I be like,
And
I'm
it's
not a
probably
shorts
no heat.
person.
Is
Oh
there
no,
heat
no,
in there
yeah,
when
there's
it's
heat.
cold?
There's heat.
How do you manage to put heat with no air? How you
Well,
do that?
that's because the heat, all it does is it pulls heat from the engine and redistributes it throughout the vehicle. But to have an air conditioner, it would have to have like a air conditioning like compressor in the bus.
Mm.
So yeah, like all the buses have heat. Like no, we don't be freezing in that much in the winter time.
Okay.
Um, but in the summertime, we be sweating our asses off. And
That's
like, I'm not a
crazy.
shorts kind of person. I went out and bought like 3, 4 pairs of biker shorts Because for a while, all you would catch me in was a loose ass t shirt, some biker shorts, and my Crocs. I'm like, this time I'm coming to work looking hella
Like, you would
comfortable.
think they would think of a way to at least isolate the air. Because if
Yeah.
it's gonna be more complicated somehow to have air throughout the whole thing, have some kind of way that at least the bus driver can get something, some relief that they're on the bus more than the kids. Like,
Exactly. I mean, nah, I would want the whole bus to have it because, like,
yeah,
yeah, the kids they can put their windows down and whatnot. I have a little window, and then there's two small little fans that are mounted. But all they do is recirculate hot air. Like
hot
it's
air,
not
exactly.
really helping much.
Right.
And it does, and it only really helps with my face. It doesn't help with my back and my ass. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's why they don't call it swamp face season. They call it swamp ass season for a reason.
That's real. That's real.
But yeah, it's rough. But lately it's been pretty nice out here. Like it feels like we're getting fall early. And
Fallish,
I
yeah.
got look, I'm in a fucking hoodie. I'm in one of my hoodies actually. Team Triple
And I
S.
know where you live, and I know it can be
Anticipating
hot. So if you're in
anxiety.
a hoodie, yeah.
Exactly. Like it wasn't like cold today, but it was chilly enough that I felt like, oh, I could be cozy in a hoodie. Like, why not?
Mhm. One thing I would
Ah,
suggest for next year, maybe, like, maybe having, like, a cooler or something with some ice packs and just, like, switching out the ice or something throughout the day. I don't know.
it sounds
I'm
like a
trying
good
to think of
idea,
ways.
but there's not a lot of room up there.
Yeah.
I gotta keep the walkway clear. There's a lot of things like the
Oh,
best thing
okay.
that I found is just like to not wear a lot of clothes and to have a lot of iced beverages. Like I got this. This is the actual like water jug that I take with me to work because this shit keeps like ice for like almost 24 hours. It's like it keeps stuff
I have
cold.
one
So
like that.
yeah, I'll stop at like Wawa in the morning and fill it up with ice.
Mhm.
And then I also have like a coffee or whatnot. So, I found ways, but it's
Right.
nothing beats having a
Put
fucking AC.
put a T-shirt in the freezer the night before. Type
I
shit,
guess,
you know
but
what I mean? You could try it.
that should have melt in like 2.5. Like it'd be so fucking hot, it's
That's
ridiculous.
crazy.
But anyway, yeah, I am looking forward to getting back out there. I find myself recently, like when I'm driving, like earlier, I think I told you I went to the Korean joint that I loved when I used to live in Philly.
Yes. What's the name?
And
What's it called?
it's
Oh,
called
shout out.
Dooboo. It's called Dooboo, ew, and they always hook me up. I got like 3 extra marinated eggs. Cause I ordered, I was like, no rice. Can I get extra eggs, please? And it was like, no rice. Here's 3 extra eggs. And it's economy too. For no extra charge, they gave them there's 3 extra eggs. I was like,
Not in this
um,
economy.
yes. But like I found myself like as I was like sitting in traffic and like driving home, like looking at the school buses, and I was like, okay, that's the international. I drive international. Let me see what they got going on there. And I'm just like, I'm getting back into that mode of being ready to deal with these kids. I really hope that I get either I wanna either be
You don't like them high school kids.
yeah, I don't. I don't like them high school kids at all.
That is so
Like,
funny.
I would love to get, like, elementary school.
Yeah, that's your
Kids would
vibe.
be like yeah, that would be ideal. Cause early in the morning, them niggas is gonna be tired. They ain't gonna
Yeah,
even wanna be on the bus. And then in the afternoon, they're usually gonna be entertaining themselves because they got a lot of energy and they just, so I don't know.
yeah.
They just,
Yeah, no,
yeah, them high
I can
school
see
kids
it
are
with
my
the
fucking
kids.
nerves.
I kinda so I'm it's weird, like, now, especially working at where I work at now, I kinda work with the youngest that I work with right now is probably, like, 7 or 8,
Okay.
and then I go up to pretty much high school age, and, I don't know, I like it all. I don't know, I really do enjoy all the different age groups because I prefer high school, to be honest, because I can be a little more like myself, like, because 'cause they're kinda grown, they're getting grown at least. And I feel like I can kinda, like, school them on some stuff and be like, "Hey, girl," like, is that kinda energy with them, but still, I'm like, "I'm almost 40, I'm grown, don't try me."
And
But
so, and that, see, that's a big difference in our personalities. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like I don't care about like kikiing with these kids because most of the time, the high school kids at least are talking about shit that I didn't care about even when I was in high school. Like this just like highlights
right,
how
right.
autistic I am, right? Even when I was in high school, I didn't care about this shit. So I really don't care about it as a 36 at the time, now 37-year-old woman. I don't care. So all I care about is making sure that the kids are safe, they get to and
Mhm.
from school, and they don't leave trash on my bus. That's all I care
Right,
about. I don't
right.
care. We don't need to be buddy buddy, but like I'm watching the dynamics and I see the same shit that I saw in high school that gets on my nerves. It's the popular kids, it's the
Yeah.
quiet kids, it's the kids who get made
They
fun
do start
of.
to they do start to do that around high school. You start seeing
Yeah.
cliques.
And so I'm seeing this now because like that wound up being my my route for the rest of the year. Like when I started in December. So in December I was just covering for this one driver who was out that whole month. And then when we came back in the new year, he came back from medical leave. And so I got a route that wound up being my route for the rest of the year. And I don't know, like I don't it just reminded me of all the things that I hated about high school. I think that's what it is. It's like you got these people who like, and again, it's because they're conditioned this way. And then
Yes.
you start to see how they've been conditioned by the system, and now they've been pigeonholed into these groups that they're probably
Mhm.
going to live out for the rest of their lives. So you got the popular
Yep.
girl and the popular guy. You got, all the typical cliques.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not playing along with this. Like, I know y'all
Mhm.
expect me to. Y'all think I probably want your approval because you've been conditioned to think lower of people who are bus drivers. They think all bus
Exactly.
drivers are stupid. They're
Mhm.
lazy. They couldn't get any other kind of job, not knowing anything about the absolute boss bitch they got driving them to and fro.
Or if this is their only job. You don't know if they're just doing it just
Exactly.
they might be a whole entrepreneur out here and just like, "This is one consistent gig that I like to do and it's free, it has
Which is
stability to it."
actually
Literally
literally
you. Right.
entrepreneur wearing my shit again. Go to
Exactly.
JamaicaPogue.com, get your
But
AAA
listen, the
gear.
problem is that they don't know, but they're children. It's grown ass adults that think the same fucking way.
And I work with them, right? Which is another thing. I'm just like, so part of
Now
me
that's
is
even
like,
more ironic.
now that's why I paused, right? Because I was like, I hope I get. So part of me would actually like to be what's called a cover driver because they have consistent hours and they're full time. They get 40 hours a week and they come in from this time to this time. And they are literally what it sounds like. They're cover drivers. So they cover for when we're short on drivers for
And they
certain
get
things.
40 hours a week consistently covering,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because if there's nothing to cover, they just hang out at
and they
the
still get
yard.
paid.
Yep.
Dude.
Now there's almost always something to cover because there's like especially on Mondays and Fridays, people be wanting to have 2 day weekend. There be mad people
Uh-huh.
calling out. Um,
Excuse
so,
me.
and then
Yeah.
unlike me, there are some people who don't want a lot of hours. Like they're comfortable just with the
Mhm.
minimum. And so like
Yeah.
they'll, be short on staff because like turnover, like either people leaving
Mhm.
or getting fired. And so there's always like routes that need to be covered. Like that's how I got my route last year because the lady who
Mhm.
had it in the beginning of the year, she quit. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
this other girl who's one of the cover drivers, she was covering it in December. And
Mhm.
then once the route I was covering was no longer needed to be covered, they just permanently gave me that route for the rest of the year.
Mm.
But I would love to be a cover driver. The only thing is that that means that during the middle of the week, most of the time, I'm gonna just have a lot of downtime where I'm
Well,
just
that's
hanging
perfect for you.
around but no, hanging around at the yard.
Um,
It's not
you
like
can't
I
bring
can
a
hop on my
laptop?
bus. No. Firstly, the Wi-Fi only works inside the building. So even if I
Right.
wanted to like get a laptop and like take it and sit on my bus and like get some work done, The
I
Wi-Fi
mean,
don't
to
really
that,
work
you
out in
can
here.
edit or some you could, like, edit or nothing?
No,
That's crazy.
the space is not set up for that. There's
Mm,
no desk. Like, I'll have to sit there on my lap and do it.
mm.
It probably would be easier to do it on my bus because I could like will stretch out on some seats. But also just the dynamic. Like if you're in the office, you can't just be sitting there doing anything you want to do. It's kind of like being in a regular office. It's like, oh, well, if you're here, we expect you to, communicate, engage. And I'm like, I already know I'm not here for that. I'm here to do my job. So like
Yeah, if
to
I
go
don't got
to
nothing to do, what am I talking to y'all about? Like,
exactly,
what are we
that's how I
talking
be
about?
feeling. That's how I be feeling. That's part of the reason why, like, I don't mind picking up a lot of like trips and like extra things
Yeah.
because I'm like, if I'm gonna be here getting paid, then I want to actually be doing my job. I don't actually want to get paid to just sit around here and
You need an
talk or
iPad
like
then. Maybe not a whole laptop, maybe something an iPad, but you can do something on.
I don't
Some
know. Yeah,
You'll
so
figure
that's
it
like
out.
I know, like, but I don't even know what I'm doing yet. But like, ideally, money wise, have being
Yeah, that's
like
the way
a
to go.
cover driver would be lit.
Mhm.
But we'll see. We'll see what
We'll see.
everything goes
But that's
on, what
funny, like, what you said
happens.
about high school kids though, because the environment that I'm in is supposed it's, like, social emotional and, like, it's artistic. So I
Mhm.
see these kids in a different dynamic. I see them in a space that they're choosing to be in and don't choose to be at school. They have
This
to
is
be there.
true.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm seeing them in a different dynamic. And however, I still see these things too. They still get cliquish. They still you can kind of categorize certain kids. Like, oh, that's the popular girl. That's the workaholic. They start to kind of form identities around that age.
Mhm.
Um, and there's some troublemakers that make my job hard. Um, but because this is a chosen thing, they choose to be. I'm like, if you're gonna make this hard, you don't have to be here.
Yeah.
Like I always have that to kind of say, even to their parents, it's like this is not a mandatory thing for them to do. They're making it hard for me and themselves. So y'all need to talk about this because I'm not about
Mhm.
that. I can actually say they can't come back. I can say that if
I
they're
mean, to
that
some degree, I had that discretion too, but it's harder to be like, this student can no longer ride my bus. Like,
uh-huh.
but if it got to like a certain extent, obviously I could have. The only trump card that I kind of had that helped me for a little while was I was like, y'all, because I only had two rules on my bus: don't stand up while the bus is moving, and don't leave trash on the seats or the floor.
Simple.
There's a trash can right in the front of the bus. Everybody passes it when they get on and off the bus. There's an
Yeah.
opportunity for you to throw your trash out. And for
Hmm.
safety reasons, don't stand up while the bus is moving. That's it.
Standard.
You can talk, you can be
Loud
on
as
the
you want.
phone, you can play
Right.
music, you
How is
can
this hard?
you can eat just as long as you don't leave
Take
your
your shit with exactly.
and these kids continue to like test me. And so one day, like a whole like raggedy ass notebook was left on the floor, right?
Mhm.
And just so happens it had somebody's name in it. And so that girl was one of the popular girls who always sat in the back.
Mhm.
And I made an example out of her. I said, actually, no, this is your seat right here, which was right in the front, right in front of me. And I made her
Mm.
sit there every day for 2 months. Every time she tried to get on and walk
2
past
whole
me, I
months
was like,
consistently.
yes. Every time she tried to walk past
Wow.
me and act like I was like, And after a while, she didn't even fight it. She just sat in the seat.
And
So I
you
was
know
like,
what? Boundary setting. That's important because these kids will listen, adults will fuck with you.
mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with that now. Motherfuckers thinking that you ain't got no strong boundaries and they can just jump over that shit. Yeah, like it only takes one. Like I'm in it. I'm curious to see how this next year goes because I did not allow a particular person back into our company. They can come back and take other classes if they want, but they are not in the company anymore. And they've been used to being in the company because where I work, they've been in us in a system of sort of like, oh, well, they started here, they can always come back. It's almost one of those like Supreme Court justice energy, like once you in, you always in.
Like
And
you're grandfathered in type thing.
I said, this girl, no ma'am. And I didn't even have to do it. I already wanted her not to come back. But then we have auditions where we actually we get other people to come and evaluate the audition, so it's
Okay.
unbiased.
Uh-huh.
And they scored her low. So, baby, it ain't even me, baby.
Sis.
You came in comfortable thinking you was just gonna get in.
Right. Like she's like, I got
The,
this in the bag, babes. It's a
the standards
technicality.
are raised. The standards are raised.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so I was like, oh, thank God I don't even have to make up an excuse for why I don't get her back. You ain't meet the standard. That's
Right. How about that? Try again later. Maybe not.
But yeah, like, but you have to make, and I'm curious to see what happens when when certain kids come back and they realize that she's not there.
Wow.
I'm curious to see how much they pull up your panties.
Yeah. We gotta step.
We're not playing. Exactly. Like, oh, they mean what they say. Yeah.
They say no, this not.
It's not.
It's not.
But okay. That's just
yeah. I know. We gotta catch up every once in a while. You know.
That was good though. Well, yes, I hope that you're able to well, I hopefully you'll be able to just pull in more hours because I think you'll get overtime, right? If you're not doing it's like overtime pay, really.
Overtime. I told you that one check I had only like 4 hours of overtime. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I could get used
so it might be better for you to not have that particular position you were talking about and just try to stack up overtime this year. It might be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, look, it'll work itself out. All I know is that yes, that overtime check was absolutely adorable. I could get used to that. And if that became like the norm, then I see myself having absolutely zero problems doing the kind of travel and the amount of travel that I picture myself doing.
Yeah, because you could squirrel some stuff away over the if you stack up a lot of overtime. By the time you hit your summers off, you good, and you still get something in the summer from other.
Of course, yeah. I didn't go this whole summer with no income, but it's like a significant cut between when I'm like, actually out here in these streets. So yeah, and then, like I was talking about before a couple weeks ago, like I'm looking forward to having a routine again because it'll help my health kick like be more consistent. Because I am doing better overall calorie intake wise. I just need to work on being more physically active. And yeah.
If I would kind of what I would do for you, just put in a walk. Start very small. Just I don't know what you're doing so far, and we can talk all
I would say let's talk offline about this because that I can't. My hip has been fucking with me, so I've been doing more stuff stationary.
Okay.
It makes things worse. But yes, we'll do the logistics later. Conversation later. For now,
moving.
I guess that's what you're
watcher and dancer.
Yes, I was like, watcher and dancer.
Here we go.
Oh yeah. So
this is today's episode is you heavy, which I love.
Oh yeah, it is
a bit. Yeah, it's mostly what's coming from you, and so the watcher and dancer today is what.
So I want to say strap in, and if you are sensitive to certain conversations about like racism and social justice, then trigger warning. This means
why you even here? Why you even here?
Why you even guess? That's true. Why are you here? Like, look at these two black ass bitches talking every week.
Yeah,
we got shit to say, but also like for real, this really ain't the episode.
Yeah, it goes
if you stumbled upon this episode out of nowhere, you just like, oh, let me check this out.
Yeah.
This might not be the one for you. Um, but yeah, so the day that we're recording is Friday, August 22nd, 2025. And I like if you've been listening to this show or even following some of the things that I've been doing on my platform, you know that I have a strong interest in decolonization,
Yes.
deconstructing and decolonizing our minds and our culture and our beliefs. So I always say everything comes back to white supremacy, aka the colonial mindset.
Mhm.
Because it does. And so the biggest thing that I want to talk about this week, at least, is the actual history of slavery, and not in like a here's a history lesson, but like talk about
Mhm.
like have an open and honest conversation about
Impact.
the impact that it continues to have on us by being honest about what actually happened, which
Mhm.
also lends itself to the conversation of why it's actively they're trying to actively erase
Erase, yeah.
the evidence of slavery. So I'm gonna
It's unbelievable to me, honestly. Like we were like the fact that he could tweet that out and it kind of like glossed over. Like if he actually does this and like eradicates the historical preservation of the fact that that existed, it's uncanny to me because it's not even like we were talking about before, like the Smithsonian in particular. It's not even like most of that museum was talking about m- slavery. Like there was such a small portion that was even in that place about it. So like the fact that he's like get rid of it, I pray to God that they don't actually get rid of that shit because that's everybody should leave this country if that happens because it's we're done. We're done. America's done. If they actually allow that kind of shit to oppress facts, historical facts to that degree, you need to leave. Plan to leave because this place is about to be a hellscape.
So yeah, I mean it already is, but I would go back to say to me this isn't unbelievable. It's disappointing, but it's not unbelievable because it's not new. None of this is new. Like even when we were talking the other day, or it might even been yesterday.
I think it was
Damn, time is
yesterday.
running. But when we were talking yesterday, we were talking about how like even what we grew up learning about, like, oh, slavery and the kind of gotcha arguments that people try to
Mhm.
come at you with, like, oh, well, Africans were the ones who sold their own people into slavery, and da 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 da. Or even the things that we're taught about, like what actually motivated the pilgrims and the colonists to come over here in the first place and to start a new colony. Like, even what we're taught here
Mhm.
already is a sanitized and
Whitewashed.
whitewashed version of history.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me at all that it is just disgusting to see it happening in real time. It's like, damn, it's fucked up already that we know that the past that, that everybody alive now has only learned through history, right?
Mhm.
Nobody alive now was around in 1865, um, or earlier, or whatnot. So we've all learned about it secondhand, at least.
Right.
And even that has been distorted. So it's like, but by that point, you don't really, once you're hearing about a second hand, third hand, fourth hand generations later, you don't know how distorted it is until you can go back and get like some raw facts that haven't been filtered and whitewashed and sanitized. What makes it crazy or so unbelievable, I guess, is that you're seeing it happen in real time.
In real time.
And
Yeah.
and it's like
Surreal.
and it makes you really confused because you're like, how can people just like let this slide? But like we were talking about the other day, um, at least in this country, we've gotten to a point where the average American cannot read at a ninth grade reading level, which means that they have a very hard time with nuance. They have a very
Mhm.
hard time with spotting
Critical.
propaganda and misinformation. They have a hard time understanding differing perspectives. They have a hard
Yep.
time juggling dual realities,
Mhm.
and
Just overall
their
critical thinking.
exactly, their belief
Like
in
going
something is
beyond like just reading the words.
exactly, so they're very literal, and their belief in something is tied more to how it makes them feel than to whether or not it's logical. And
Right.
so because of that, because that is the average American's, like, reading and comprehension level, um, a lot of them either didn't know that these things had happened before, they're not able to see the patterns because they can't read nuance and
Mhm.
see patterns and think outside of what's happening right then and there. Or even if somebody tells them they don't believe it because it makes them feel some kind
Right.
of way.
Right.
And
Right.
you're working against all these different barriers to try to get people to think outside of themselves in a society that has created a populace that literally only thinks about how they feel and and they want to feel better. So if you say something, even if it doesn't make any sense, but it makes them feel better, they're gonna believe you, they're gonna follow you, and they're gonna do. And because of cognitive dissonance, they're gonna dig their heels in anytime any information or experience or something rubs up against what they've already agreed to believe. Um, and so yeah, and so when we talk about slavery and the realities of slavery, because we've been fed the sanitized and whitewashed. Because even when we learn about slavery, when they talk about yes, slavery was bad, it was unjust, it was inhumane. They still don't get to how fucked up it was. White people literally treated black people like livestock. They treated us like we were cattle. They had breeding farms. They bred us. They sold us at auction. They ate us. They made cookbooks about how
Let's
to
let's
cook
let's
slaves.
let's stay right there because that to me, there's a lot of atrocities, rape, beatings, killings, but it's for me, that is crazy. Especially because they hung a lot of their bullshit on the fact that everybody else were savages. But a cannibal is you were cannibals. But I get it. We're not human to you, so it's not cannibalism, I guess.
The cognitive dissonance.
It's insane to me. Everybody, I brought this woman's book, Dr. Joy DeGroy. DeGroy is spelled DE capital GRUY, I want to say. And you don't even got to get the book. I say get it to support her and financially. But she's pretty good, honestly. She's been making
Mhm.
her rounds these days. And I think she's from California, I want to say, but I almost want to say, I think she lives in Stone Mountain, not too
In
far from
Georgia.
me
Okay.
in Georgia. And, but she's a professor, educated black woman, and she has coined the term post traumatic slave syndrome.
I've heard of that term. I didn't know it was coined by her.
Yes, I recommend everybody look her up. She has like on YouTube alone. Before I even bought her book, I almost feel like I read the book already because she has dissertations and like different presentations she's done about this very thing that we're talking about essentially because
Mhm.
just the realities of slavery, the realities of post slavery,
Mhm.
which what we know it to be racism and then Jim Crow, like
Intimidation,
every
yeah.
everything that came from after slavery. That's what's important to what we're talking about right now because that's the effects of it. The impact of slavery is really how hard it has been for them to let it go.
Thank you. Thank you. Because yes, because I'm gonna say like I don't feel like we are post slavery. I feel like we are in like slavery 3.0. Because,
Mhm,
or maybe 4.0 at this point, because you had chattel slavery, that was slavery
mm,
1.0, and then you had Jim Crow, and
mhm.
segregation, that's slavery 2.0.
Well, even
And
before
then
that, it's like you have what is actual post-slavery where you get police. That's when you
Reconstruction, yeah, yeah.
right. So there's almost something right before Jim Crow.
So
Because
there we go.
slavery
So
ended in
so maybe we're in the fifth
1865,
iteration
you
right now.
know?
So you got
Right,
chattel
right.
slavery 1.0, then you got the Reconstruction, which is
Mhm.
2.0, then you got Jim Crow,
Yep.
then you have the civil rights
Yeah,
era,
the movement, right, right, right.
right? And then so now I would say we're in post civil rights. We're not post slavery.
Yeah,
We're
the
still,
post-civil
I think
rights.
we're coming toward the end of the fifth, and it's gonna morph into
Mhm.
some
Something's
sixth
changing,
version.
yeah.
That's how it feels like right now.
I agree.
But like slavery hasn't gone away. It's just adapted with the political times. But it's never gone away in this country. The 13th Amendment didn't abolish slavery. It made slavery illegal unless it was for the punishment of a crime. And then once that changed, then they changed the definition of what is a crime.
What is a crime? Yeah.
Yeah, and so you see this
I
mass
almost feel like
incarceration.
you have post-civil rights and you almost have Reaganomics. Because, like,
Hmm.
what was before where we are now, what happened during Reagan's administration pretty much set us up for where we are now. And the crack
Yeah,
epidemic, all of that, like,
the
you
war
know,
on
certain
drugs.
the war on drugs, calling certain people thugs.
Hmm.
It's like, but it's not only black people that sell drugs,
It surely ain't.
but that's been the picture that's been painted. Is that
Exactly.
it, you know what I mean? We sell drugs. Meanwhile, it's like, particularly with black women, like we're one of the most educated people in this country.
Yeah, we are the most educated demographic in this country. Black women. Yeah.
That's
Let
with or without a degree, mind you.
exactly. This is true. This is true. But yeah, no, you're right. So I guess we're on slavery 6.0. And if we can
Mhm.
dive even more, it's probably slavery 12.0 at this point. But those are the big chunks. You got chattel slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights, Reaganomics, and
Mhm.
now we're in this transition period that I don't know what are we gonna call this.
I don't know what the
The
magnetism,
Trump dump,
magnetism,
the Trump
Trump
slump.
dump. I hear that
Yeah,
magnetism, Trump dump.
yeah,
Those are all really cute.
yeah. We're in the Trump slump right now where it
Yeah, I
becomes.
agree. Yeah, it's something's weird is happening now, and and I think whatever we're in now it's bigger than just being black. It's gonna affect even people who voted for that motherfucker.
It
So they
already is.
it already is. Yep.
Like my good sis
Mm.
Jessica Lee Ramsey.
Destiny,
I
yes.
never thought the lead was
Yo,
in my face. Cause how many of you motherfuckers was out here like, yeah, mega, mega, mega. And
I
then
thought it
like
was
2 seconds
cute.
later, you're like, oh, my goddamn farm subsidies got cut. My goddamn
Yeah,
Medicaid
because
got
you thought it's about
yeah,
color. It's about money.
yeah.
It's always been about money. What did you say? Like, and a lot of people forget this. What did you say about Lincoln?
Oh yeah, like again, another great whitewashing of our history where they make it seem
Mhm.
like Lincoln was so great. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation and freed the slaves. That motherfucker didn't want to free the slaves. He literally said, and I'm paraphrasing, if I could unite the Union and the Confederacy and keep slavery, I would. But that's not possible. And so economically, we're stronger together as a United States of America. So in order to do that, we're gonna have to end the slavery gig. And so they was not happy with that. This is why John Wilkes Booth killed him, calling him a tyrant,
Yep. Yep.
because he ended slavery, which was the economic backbone of the South.
Yep.
And they were like, yeah, we're not with this shit. And he was like, look, I wouldn't either, but the North, they are moving more into manufacturing and they are free states and they don't want to be slave states. And so the only way we can
It's
combine
follow
this
the money.
union,
Follow the money. It's
It's
always
always
been
follow
about
the
money.
money. And then to that point, I remember we were talking about like how white people, they be like, black people act like all white people are racist. Who are the ones who freed the slaves? Who are the ones who enslaved us to begin with? You
Yeah, the
don't
fact
get a
that
fucking pat on the back for like undoing atrocities because you did them in the first
that you
fucking
caused. You
right.
want us to give you brownies for stopping being evil?
Right. That's like somebody punching me in the face and then giving me a bag of ice and being like, I gave you ice. Why are you still looking at me like I'm your enemy? Because you just punched me in the fucking face. I wouldn't need the ice if you didn't punch me in the face. So now I'm not just going to be all happy that you gave me a bag of ice that I wouldn't have needed unless if it wasn't for you punching me in the fucking face.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so it is insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane. Again, to what we normally talk about on this podcast, if you follow us, it's narcissism. That's why you know how there's always this like, you know, people use it. There's only two type of people in the world type of thing. It's always two type of people in the world, this or that. In my opinion, the only two type of people in the world are narcissists and non-narcissists. Period. Because you either and even if you're like someone who is like a flying monkey, as they say, to me, you're equally a narcissist. Because if you can follow them blindly, you are just as capable of being them.
So I understand what you're saying, and we talk about this a lot, and it's so funny because me being autistic, you would think I would be the one with this kind of like black or white thinking, but I never think of people as all just one thing.
One or the other. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't think you can sort the world into narcissists and non-narcissists because everybody. Firstly, we're talking about narcissistic tendencies. We're not talking about NPD.
That's true.
Always have to
Right,
make that
that's true.
disclaimer because
That is
there's
true.
bound to be people being like, here you go, pop psychology. Bitch, actually, I study psychology, so
Don't try us.
don't try it.
And at this point, the way the systems are so corrupt, I don't give a fuck if you have a degree in something. I'm more interested if you experienced it in real life.
Exactly, that's true.
Because you have both.
Yeah, that's a great point. But I always have to say, like, because there's always people who want to be like, what about you're over some. Shut up. We're talking about narcissistic tendencies, right?
Right.
And so everybody, even if you are somebody who is led by altruism, led by love, led by a sense of justice, a strong sense of justice, even those kind of people aren't 100% altruistic, aren't 100% unselfish, or have motivations that don't benefit them in some kind of way. Many times it's genuinely just like a self-satisfaction and gratification of doing good and seeing good done, but that's still something that you get out of it. So there's no truly altruistic, selfless act that somebody can do. So, at least in my mind, like I don't think that there's ever any like 100% selfless act that somebody can do.
Like we were saying earlier, if you get joy out of seeing other people be happy, to me, I'm okay with that being non-altruistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's still putting good into the world.
It's still putting good, and you enjoy seeing other people be happy and be fulfilled and all. So something about that is altruistic. Like I get fulfillment from your happiness. That's amazing. If you get fulfillment from other people's demise and sorrow and suffering, then you're a fucking masochist.
If the Germans have a word for that, it's called Schadenfreude. I think it's how you say it, Schadenfreude, and it literally means deriving pleasure from other people's misfortune.
And you can literally line them up and shoot them. People like that. Sorry, I will say that. We can line them up, rifle. If you get happy when other people are in pain, fuck you. Period. I don't care about your trauma, because here's the thing: you can try to, a lot of people don't want to like. I know some people that like I'm talking to them about a certain person I'm dealing with now, and they're like, oh, maybe they have family problems, and maybe they have this and that. What they family problems got to do with them seeing us like shit? Did you walk around? I walked around homeless for 2.5 years. Never came to work. Then y'all know, never treated nobody here Like I
And
was
that's the thing too.
struggling.
It's like I get it, trust me. Because I'm one of those people where I need to understand the why behind the what, and once I understand the why, even if I don't like it for some reason I don't. If I can make logical sense out of it, even if I don't like it, for some reason it doesn't lead to anger. You know what makes me more upset is when I can't figure something out than when I understand it. So like I think that's where we differ.
Yeah,
It's because like
yeah,
I understand that there's a motivation behind it. I agree that it's fucked up. I agree that it's empty. I agree that it's real NPC non-player character behavior.
right.
Um very just like disconnected, just like on
Yeah.
autopilot, not living a real human experience type behavior. But
Mhm.
I don't know, for some reason it doesn't lead me to anger. It just leads me to pity.
I
And it leads
no,
me to pity for them. It really does. I feel so
I
sad
can't.
thinking of
I'm not there. I'm not
uh,
there because my
when I think
here's the
about it,
thing.
it's
I
such an empty and
it is
it's
empty.
horrible
It is
existence.
it is, but I don't give a fuck. Because here's the thing. Everybody goes through shit. I have personally gone through some deep shit and I have never been
I know.
manipulative. I have never wanted to harm anybody else and fuck up their career and their livelihood. I have never it's never crossed my mind for me to take my pain and try to make somebody else suffer because of what I'm going through. To me, that shows me who you are as a human. When you like honestly, like what people do, okay, there's two extremes. You know a person who they really are when their things are going really good and when things are going really bad. That's when you can see who someone is truly at the core of their being. Because if things are going really good and everything, and they're just like flawing all they shit, and it's like everything's about me, 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 and I'm just like, and they're not giving back. They're not using what their fortune to help others to some degree. You know what I'm saying? Or if they are doing it, it's all very performative. It's all
Mhm.
very much like I want everybody to see what I'm doing. But in real life, they're like dismissive to people. And you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they give money away, but they don't ever actually like engage with the people they're giving the money to, type of shit, right?
Right.
And then when things are really bad, it's like, oh well, if maybe they haven't. If they're having, everybody has struggles. If when they're in their lowest, you get money. Because the thing is, like, it's one thing to be like, I lashed out real quick one time, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm going through a lot. Forgive me, I didn't mean to yell at you, I didn't mean to be. Now if they do that's human.
Right.
But what I'm talking about is a consistent day to day over like at least a year time. And there's never vulnerability. There's never a time where they express like I'm going through a thing. And I'm not saying that people have to tell everybody their business, but to some extent, if you are close to a person, because what I'm dealing with, there's a closeness there. Where if you're
Mhm.
dealing with something, you should feel like you can at least expose, like, I am going through a thing. You don't got to tell me everything, but you can say, like, I'm going through something. So forgive me if I seem a little short with you. I'm dealing with a lot. So just forgive me. Right. Like,
Mhm.
but for what I'm experiencing, it's very insidious. It's very I can't do it.
Manipulative. Yeah.
Manip- and it's very
No,
like,
I
it's
get you.
very like, you know what I'm saying? So to
I
me,
do.
it's way too um premeditated almost
And you
to
know what?
for me to forgive it.
So we veered off track a little bit, but I want to
Yeah.
use this as an example because something that we were talking about kind of triggers your emotions, and it we started going down a certain path. And then it turned into a different conversation. That is what usually happens, not on purpose. I get it, like, but that's just a perfect example of like when you're trying to have a conversation with someone and you get to a point where you're no longer like on the same page. Now it starts to turn into a debate of how people feel about certain things as opposed
Yeah.
to talking about the thing at hand. Because I don't disagree with you, but
Mhm.
the way we feel about that reality is different because we're
Mhm.
saying the same thing. We just don't feel the same way about it.
Yep.
that brings you to anger. It makes you not want to deal with them. It makes you wish they didn't exist. It makes you wish narcissistic people just would like disappear off the face of the earth. And and I understand that. I get it because of how you've been affected by them. Because trust me, not to the same degree that you have, but my livelihood has been affected. I've
That's what I'm
lost a
saying.
job that I loved that paid
Yeah.
so fucking well, that provided
Yep.
me so many fucking opportunities because of that. So trust me, I get it.
Mhm.
But at no point does that make me personally feel like I need to put any energy into them either way. Like I don't feel like I need to try to heal them, but I also don't feel like I need to try to punish them.
Yeah.
I just accept them as they are. Because that's the thing, like, and then we'll get back to the main topic of like slavery.
Right,
I wanted
right,
to
right.
dive into that.
But this is related
But
to
like
that because
it is, but what I'm about to say can be misconstrued. That's why I'm like, I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm about to say as like,
mhm,
most, I would say 99.999% of things are neither good or bad. They just are.
right, neutral,
They're
right.
neutral, right? That's why I say 99.99% because things like chattel slavery, that is not neutral. That is a
Mhm,
human atrocity, and everything that was that's a consequence of it is also terrible.
mm,
But most things, occurrences, just are. And what makes
mm.
them good or bad is how we feel about them, how they make us feel, how we react to them, how they allow us, how we allow them to impact us. That's what makes something either positive or negative, right?
Well, I will
So
give a caveat to
hold on.
that too. It's not just how it makes us feel; it's how it's being used too. It's the intention behind how it's being used.
I'm talking about what's in your control. I'm not talking about how other
Oh,
people
okay,
are
okay,
using things. I'm talking about how you perceive things, or
okay.
at what's perceived as good or bad in your experience comes down to how it makes you feel, how you allow it to impact how you act. I'm
Mhm,
not talking about the intention. We're leaving the things outside of us out of it. So like for
okay.
example, water just is. It could be good, it's life saving, you can clean yourself, you can cook in it, but it could also take your life. You can drown in it, you can drink too much of it, you can have water poisoning. So water is not itself is not good or bad. It just is. The circumstances in which it's being used or in which it exists is
Or
what makes something
abuse.
good or bad. So I say all that to say this is, I think, part of the reason why, like when I think about like they're being narcissists, they're being basically like psychopaths out here who are like in charge of things, right? I guess the reason why I don't, and this is a topic that we'll be talking about coming up soon with a friend of the podcast.
Oh yes.
The reason why rage doesn't
Mhm,
really, at least for me, and that's why everybody is different and has their own like way of being that contributes to the collective, because rage is sacred, rage is spiritual,
yes.
rage is a manifesting power, but not everybody is somebody who is led or even moved or motivated or healed by rage. Some of us
Mhm,
channel that into like we some of us are transmuters into light energy. And so for me, I feel like I take anything that I don't like, I try to understand it so that I can let it go, because the only things that I ruminate over are things I can't understand. And so if I can understand it, even though it's fucked up, like I understand logically what's going on with what's going on right now. We got insecure, narcissistic, terrible people who are stuck in this loop of hierarchy and are just perpetuating a system that is dying before their eyes. I get it.
mm,
And so some people will see that and be like, well, why aren't you more upset? Why are you more mad? Don't get me wrong. I am heartbroken. I hate
mhm.
this shit. I am staying abreast because this shit is important. I'm not one of those people who want to check out and be like, oh, I don't care about what's going on over here. I just want to go to a party. That's not me. I'm
Right.
very, very much involved. But for some reason, what it does is it makes me want to create
Mm.
connections and share light and love and teach people to help free their own minds. Like that's where I serve a purpose. But then there are some people who, like Amanda Seals, who I feel like
Mm.
she is supposed to be a spark. Like she is a fire starter. She
Dead
is
ass.
somebody who her rage is sacred because it's pointed. Like she's not
Yeah.
just out here being irrationally angry. Like she's
It's
angry for the
informed.
exact same,
Yes,
it's informed,
informed
exactly.
rage.
She's
Yeah.
angry for the exact same reasons that I am, exact same reasons that you are, but the way that she channels that is into creating this space where people can speak freely, can come and get education that is teaching you about what's really going on. That's not whitewash, that's not sanitized, that's not coming from corporate news, that's not coming from people
Yeah.
who have advertisers that they have to appease, and she's just like, if you don't like it, if you think I'm loud and I need to be quiet, then maybe you need to, think about why that makes you feel that way and why you feel like you need to
Mhm.
police a black woman's behavior because maybe, and
Period.
it's like, so I feel like there's a place for all of us in this.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so again, so going back to like this, like let's keep it at like the facts and not going deeper into how things necessarily make us feel because yeah, exactly, that's a hard thing to do. That is a
It's
hard
very hard,
thing to do.
especially when you see it everywhere. Cause like even to back to our point with slavery, like I think it has to be grounded in narcissism to some degree and cognitive dissonance, which going back to Dr. Joy DeGroy, she speaks a lot about the cognitive dissonance. But like they had when you get us being labeled as thugs and welfare moms and all these labels that are put on us, like even today I just saw bad bitch, built body, blonde, whatever the fuck it
Oh,
was.
hold on, the one who said Jasmine Crockett
Not Jazz. Well, she
oh
the bitch she was
the
talking about,
oh
right? She
yeah,
was
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
more. Yeah, she was talking about
Bleach blonde,
that,
bad Bill Bush body.
that bitch. Marjorie was talking about Jasmine, saying how like, oh, how is she? She's so fake. How can she understand the black experience? She's educated. She grew up and she went to a private school. She so
So you
so
just
so
literally just stated that you equate black with uneducated.
thank
And
you.
so,
Thank you.
so she can't be black because she
She
has an
can't be black.
education.
She's fake because she's educated. She's fake. How can she speak into the first of all, she can speak it. I don't care how educated or wealthy she grew up. She can speak into it more than you can. You a white ass bitch. So fuck what you're saying. She trumps you any day, no matter how she grew up.
Right.
Period. And but you're actually exposing your racism for you to say that someone who's educated and grew up middle class as a black person in America can't accurately speak about the black experience.
Because your view of the black experience is poverty and ignorance, and that goes back, okay, so yes, again, so these are the things that we're dealing with right now that are the aftermath of slavery. So while slavery was going on, we were sold on an auction block as these big strong brutes and bucks and good for breeding, but
NFL.
as soon as we could no longer be sold at open auction and we
Mhm.
were no longer allowed to be overtly treated like livestock and cattle. They then denigrated our work ethic. It went from, oh, this is a
Mhm.
big strong good for working, can work in fields, to look at this lazy ass nigga that don't want to
Right.
work for the 2 pennies a day that we're offering them because we now have to pay them something type shit.
Mhm.
The narrative
And that
changes so
mentality
quickly.
still translated. Look at the NFL and how they like
Yeah, that's
how they
another. We can get to that once we get a little bit closer to modern times. But I'm just talking about like that's something that has been a narrative that has been placed onto
mhm.
us that like perpetuates itself. So once we stopped working for free, we started becoming seen as lazy as opposed to being these
Right. All y'all want is
tools.
money.
yeah, these mules that we could work from sun up to sundown who can't feel pain, who are, who don't have the mind to be able to understand X, Y, and Z. Now look at them. They just want money. They're
Mm,
just too lazy to work. They don't want to work. They X, Y, and Z. So now you have vagrancy laws. And now
mm,
they start the criminalization of not being attached to a white person, basically. So basically, like,
mm.
it's always been criminalized, like not being attached to a white person. So now when you're not a slave anymore, but you're not an indentured servant, then there's like vagrancy laws, and there's like this is when tipping culture came in, because if you tip, you don't have to pay hourly, and because there were like a lot of like black people who were
Mm.
working in the service industry, and that's how tipping culture became a thing. So they
Oh
didn't
my
have to
god,
pay
I
black
did not
people.
know that. Wow. That
Yes,
makes so much sense
exactly.
'cause tipping's not a thing outside of this country.
Exactly, it really isn't. Like, it's so and like, well, in like South and Central America, like Latin America, it is still a thing. But in like
Okay.
Europe and Asia, no.
Yeah, people still get a living wage. You can tip if you want.
Right.
It's addition to an actual living
Right.
wage.
But here, like, they depend on the tips. And
That's
it's been that way
crazy.
because it was primarily black people
Yes,
who
you
worked in those
also suffers
service.
from that.
Again, that's again, it's
Yeah,
another
whole other
it's about
conversation.
niggas. This is for the niggas, strict
We
for
said
the
this
niggas. This is
this
for the niggas,
what's
the
the
real
Savon song?
niggas.
All my niggas in the whole wide world. This
Ew.
shit is for us.
Cause I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker
But
than black,
the
and I'm
crazy
black,
thing is like
y'all.
what we're saying is like while this conversation is about niggas, it has the only trickle down effect Republicans do is this. The trash. You want to know what trickle down effect they're talking about? The disproportionate shit. That's what
The
trickles down.
garbage, the absolute basura.
Basura.
Exactly. But yeah, so like if we move a little forward, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Whenever we haven't been attached to a white person, we get criminalized, and it's to this day. And maybe if it's not exactly a white person, but like a colonial, a colonist, a
Mhm.
colonizer, because we're moving away from white supremacy and we're calling it the colonial mindset, because
That's
narcissism is a
true.
child of the colonial mindset. It's not,
Period.
it doesn't run it. It's like, it's because of it. It's like an extension of it, just like socialism. I mean, sorry, just like
It
capitalism.
doesn't see color. Narcissism does
Yeah,
not see color
it
or
doesn't.
gender.
It used that as a tactic. Like, it has
Yeah.
evolved. That's why it's no longer just white supremacy. It's the colonial
Mm.
mindset, because
Period.
that kind of mindset is what leads people to um disenfranchise others in order to build
Oh.
themselves up. And so at this point, because it started as just white supremacy, and then we had internalized white supremacy because there's people who under the
Yeah.
system have felt like assimilation was safer than fighting against it.
Mm.
Now you have so many black and brown people who uphold white
Yes.
supremacist ideals that it doesn't make sense to call it white supremacy anymore, and you should just call it
Oof.
the colonial mindset, because you have black people who are colonizers. Think about like
Yeah.
I don't know, this could be another time for another day too. We always got branching off
Yeah,
ideas.
the next one we do should be about what is the colonial mindset. Honestly, like
Yeah,
let's break that down in the next one.
I think so, because like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think already we got a bit heavy. My biggest thing though, I'll just end this on like a little bit of a rant
The
to
next
next
episode,
week.
y'all gonna get a deep dive, bitch.
Yeah,
Cause like that's
absolutely.
what
I'm gonna
the,
have
what I'm
conflicts and everything.
the thing about narcissism that I noticed, the one centralized thing outside of like probably like lacking empathy for real. That's a whole other thing. But what that caters to this main thing is control,
Hmm.
because they seek to control their external because they get validation and they get a sense of who they are by their external. They don't have it internally. And so
Right.
you get this like manipulative like puppet master thing from them because of those two things. They need to control their environment externally because they can't control what's in here, and
Exactly.
then and because of that they cannot empathize with you as a human, because in order to do that they won't be able to control you.
Right,
So it works in
exactly. If they
tandem.
could see you as equal to them, as another human being, as opposed to just a cog in their machine or a piece
But they
in
don't
a
see themselves as a
manual.
human. They've been traumatized
Exactly.
and fucked up so much that they haven't built a sense of self. So they don't even see themselves as a person. So they
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
see
They
other.
can't see you as a human being because you are a reflection of them. That's what I'm basically
Yeah.
getting at. And so because of that, like it's this fight between their external world whenever it doesn't match up with the idea that they've accepted is the right like reflection of who they are.
And and,
But I'm
and
gonna
and
just
that can be in a collective. Like what slavery is that we as white people are superior, we're pure, we're good, and these other people who look dirty compared to us are bad. They're not people. We've determined that that's what it is. So therefore, it, it can't be bad what we're doing to them.
right. That's the explanation that's the so that's the agreement that spawned everything else. The agreement
Yep.
is that we are good, they are bad. So everything else that they have done has been to feed that narrative. And
Yep.
oftentimes it's a projection. They project onto other people what is really true of them because that's the only way that they can justify their behavior toward them. But this is what I want to kind of wrap it up with, and then
Hmm. We'll
we'll
go
kick
into
it
our next
into
segment.
a funnier gear, I guess you would say, which is funny considering the topic that we're talking about.
Very funny.
But yeah, the reason what I would implore people to do, even black people, especially black
Hmm.
Americans, do your own independent research about slavery because what we were
Absolutely.
taught in school was so whitewashed and so sanitized that
Hmm.
you will be appalled once you start to see the truth and understand that we're not exaggerating. We're not being hyperbolic. Like we're being very literal. Like when I say what I'm about to say, these are things that actually 100% happen. These aren't things that I'm trying to say are like, oh, they did things like. No, they
No.
actually did the following things with
And they were
African American history.
comfortable.
They
They
were
made
comfortable.
cookbooks, y'all.
This is what
They
I'm
were
laying it down. Okay, so
comfortable. I'm sorry. I'm
wait.
sorry. I'm
This is
sorry.
what I'm
I'm sorry. I'm
saying.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I know.
That I mean, to make a cookbook, you gotta be so comfortable in your in that fuck shit. That's insane to me.
These are generations of people who it was normalized to cook African Americans. It was normalized to use African American babies as alligator bait.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
was normal to use African American skin as leather. And to this day, there are still people who have furniture,
Mm-hmm.
wallets, books, family heirlooms that are made out of enslaved African skin and stuffed with their hair. There are
To
whole
this
dining
day.
rooms. To this day, there are people who have family heirloom dining sets and chairs and books and wallets and keychains and shit that's been passed down through their families that have been proven to be leather made out of the skin of enslaved Africans. Chairs that were chairs I'm
Oh,
sorry.
T, you.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I just saw that. Chairs and pillows and shit that were stuffed
That's
with the hair of enslaved Africans. George Washington did not have wooden teeth. He had dentures that were made out of the teeth of enslaved Africans. And no, it wasn't teeth that just fell out naturally. Yes, they were stolen from live enslaved Africans to make his yuck mouth a fucking
mm,
set of dentures, and history says George Washington had wooden teeth. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. So, I
mm.
just implore all of us that we need to look into this
Especially now.
because like sometimes it gets me so tight. Not sometimes, it gets me tight every time I hear a black person try to say stuff like, all right, well, we try to move forward as a people and we still harping on slavery. It's because we've never actually processed slavery, post traumatic slave syndrome. There are so many things about
Mm,
us culturally as a people that we still do subconsciously that hold us back, that we haven't healed. a
Yeah.
generational trauma because we had not fully acknowledged within our own community and with our own bloodlines the atrocities that our ancestors had to endure for us to even be here. A lot of every time I see a coon, I cry because it's like you spit on the legacy and the strength, the indomitable strength of generations of
Mhm.
people who endured atrocities for you to even be here. For you to even be here, do you know the strength that it took? Do you
The
know
resilience.
the resilience that it
Yeah.
took? And you what? And you're trying to trade in your blackness for proximity to whiteness. You trying to be like the same motherfuckers that would have literally barbecued you for Sunday dinner?
That's what's so unbelievable to me is the people, not so much in like physical form, because like I get it, like take Beyonce for everything needs to Beyonce.
That's gonna be a new
Like
trend coming out, yo.
I get it. Like she on her last album, it's like she got very blonde, platinum blonde, and all that shit. She very Americana, but that's part of what the branding is for what she was trying to push.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can say like, oh, people bleaching their skin or whatever like that. Okay, sure. But the bitch was very serious about teaching y'all what the fuck this shit is. So I don't give a fuck. That bitch could come out looking like Michael Jackson, whole melanin gone,
It only took
and
an
I was,
hour
and it was like,
before you bumped
but
the
even if
scale.
even him, like think about, they don't care about us. He was full blown demelanated by the time that song came out, and that
Mm-hmm.
song was an anthem when like George Floyd and all that stuff was going on. It was an anthem
Yeah.
because it doesn't matter what you look like, what you stand for is what matters. But what I was thinking about as you were saying that was I know we're gonna try to wrap this up. Um uh gosh. I hate when I do this. I guess that should be it then. That's it. That's it. We'll wrap it
Nah,
up. And
nah. If it comes back to you, just make a little note and we'll chat about it
we'll
later.
chat about it in another episode. But yeah, no, yeah, I really do suggest Dr. Joy DeGroy, if you're listening to this, I would start there. Like the way that she breaks this shit down and how it impacts us now,
Mm-hmm.
post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Yeah. And
Honestly, that's
it's
where
more
you
important
that's where
now
you
than
start.
ever to do your
Yeah.
own independent research because as you see, they're trying to rewrite history and erase this information.
Mhm.
So having physical copies of books is gonna be more important than ever. Like
Absolutely,
I
because
have
they're
an
gonna people.
Audible
Her book
subscription.
is banned. I think her book is on the ban list. Actually,
Wow. Yeah, I was
I
about to
think
say
it
I have
is.
an Audible subscription, and there are some books that I bought that like I'm not gonna have access to because it's not gonna be on the platform anymore, and that's really frustrating. I'm like, well, I think when they do that, they should automatically send you a physical copy because I've already purchased this book. So
Mm,
just because it's not like supported on the platform anymore,
right.
like why don't I have access to it? So
I wonder if we
I
can
think I'm
find.
actually gonna think about canceling my subscription soon and going back to
Right.
buying physical books. I
Especially
have
if
a lot
they're
of physical books too.
subscribing to that. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
the other thing, that's what the other thought. One thought that I had. Make sure y'all watch Amanda Seals. What was that thing she just did on Surrounded? I
Jubilee.
think it's called. It's Jubilee Surrounded. It's on YouTube. The full episode. She debates a bunch of black quote unquote conservatives. But what I found interesting about her debate with them, first of all, she comes with a lot of hard facts. Period. Amanda Seals, follow her. Period.
Hmm.
If you aren't already. But in this particular debate, she ends up talking to a lot of African immigrants to America. And I think there's a big distinction
Yep.
between those who immigrated from Africa here by choice and those of us who are descendants of chattel slavery, and
Absolutely.
how they like to frame us, because they often subscribe to what the narrative is about black Americans, that we're lazy, we're thugs,
Hmm.
and we, like, and here's the thing, I like to play devil's advocate in a lot of scenarios, which I've done on this podcast. So to some extent, I get it. I look at niggas walking around with their pants hanging past their butt, and all that shit and just like talking crazy and not doing them. I look at them crazy too because I think that shit is whack. I think it's whack. I don't call it hip hop. I don't call it culture. I don't give a fuck because it is. Here's the thing. I know too many people, and I myself am one that came from. And I am a descendant of a slave of slaves. I am, and I know people who don't act like that. So I don't think that it's like because we this happened to us. That's why that automatically excuses your behavior. I just don't believe that.
Right.
I
I
don't.
get that.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
I think it explains it, but it doesn't excuse it. And that actually goes back to basically the point that I was trying to make
yes.
earlier.
I
And I
think
was
that's
talking
what I
about
was
how
thinking of
things
earlier.
aren't solely good or bad. It's
Mhm.
like yeah, it's like it's I lost my train of thought that fast because I just looked over here.
But I
That's
often
why
wonder how we didn't get like that. Because I look at the baby mama dramas. Again, I'm not trying to demonize anybody. But there are times where I think about Cardi B. I'm like, I don't know. It's just like I just feel like there are certain mentalities that like even if we weren't brought here through child slavery, them niggas would just be like that. Like, you know what I mean?
but that's the thing, no. And we can have a conversation about that later.
Mm.
Because I think that would be a good thing. It's like again, that goes back to kind of what I was talking about before. It's like everybody is not. I feel like with each set of circumstances where there's a decision to be made, like
Like,
there are
how are
so
we
many
not
different
like that?
variables.
How is it that we don't think that way? Like what I see, like even our brother, I'm like, as much as we be like confused about that nigga, he still ain't out here with a bunch of baby mamas.
This is true. Yes. That's a different topic. I don't want to go down that road right now. We're gonna cut it right now. Because that's something that we can definitely talk about. Because again, there's always a why behind the what. As long as I can understand the why behind the what, I don't demonize the what. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
I think that's what it is.
right.
The difference is like I agree with what you're saying, but how I feel about it is different. Like, yes, like I'm grateful that like I'm 37 now. I'm not married, no kids. So like I didn't have kids. I don't
But to your point,
blah.
someone could look at my circumstance and be like, baby mama. But
And then not
you know
understand
the nuance.
exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it because people who know me understand I didn't get here like a lot of bitches.
Exactly. Because but with that being said, so now there's like a little bit of emotion in there. You're like, well, I'm a baby mama, but I'm not like those baby mamas, but you're a baby mama. You are.
I am. And
So
I'll be in the same line with these bitches trying to get
what makes it a good or a bad thing is how you feel about it, how you present it, and how you live in it. Like, so being a baby mama itself, quote unquote, is not a bad thing. It's how you allow it to affect you. Now, the women, I think I know what you're talking about, is like they make being a single mother like their entire personality, and like it becomes a thing with between the mother and the father. Yes, I get right. And yeah, so if you're causing harm to other people, I think that can be seen as a negative thing. But just being a quote unquote baby mama itself is not a bad thing or a good thing. It just is, And so I think that's why when I see things like like it's straight up thug ass niggas with that sagging.
Yeah, I agree.
That. I've never.
I wish they would pull their pants up, but it's not always that they're bad people.
Exactly. Right. And then also a lot of them don't understand why they do it. It's like, oh, well, this is just what we do. And it's like, well, do you realize why you do it? That this used to be a signal to niggas in jail that you was open for business.
And you
why
ain't
you walking around
in jail.
That? Right.
You over here a whole engineer for real in your head. Like,
so that's what I'm saying. Like that's a whole other conversation that we can have. Like I think that when we talk about why things happen, why doesn't like the explanation isn't an excuse.
Culture doesn't equate to character.
That's or even just the explanation is not an excuse. I was explaining why they do that. I still think it's stupid and it perpetuates a terrible stereotype. That's my personal opinion, but it is what the fact is that this is part of what guys think is culturally hip hop and
Right.
blah, blah, and we can have a whole
Right.
conversation about where that stems from and how that also is a product of the different iterations of slavery 3.0 and 4.0,
Even
and
down
things
to
like
like
that.
BET being owned by white people
Right, like that
since
is
like early
definitely
2000s.
an evolving
They
conversation we can
dictated
have.
to us our own. They regurgitated back to us what should be our culture.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Woo, child.
with that being said, I'm actually gonna keep this very short. And when I mean short, I'm gonna keep it real short because, like,
Mhm.
I already know what the deal is. But the reason why I said that for hating and loving this week is
Mhm.
ironic because of what we just talked about, right? And this also goes to how I can know something as a fact and accept it, and like it doesn't impact how I feel either way, right?
Right, right.
So I hate the fact that um white cis men are literally garbage. They are the worst
for the
entities
for the
to
most
work
part,
this
yeah.
earth, like as a group, as a collective.
As a collective.
But then every once in a while,
Yeah.
oh Lord, every once in a while,
That
I'd be like, that particular European man can do certain things that my ancestors wouldn't be proud of
my
and proud to
ancestors.
be the
Some for
ancestors.
myself.
Well, yeah,
It makes
I
sense
did my
out here.
DNA. I did my ancestor DNA. I'm literally like 1/5
You are.
European.
You are.
So maybe it's that minority portion of my blood. Um, but yeah, and I say all that to
Oh,
say
bad.
they're not, but most of them are. But I say all that to say because I currently am absolutely infatuated with David Cornsweet. And if
Lord
you don't know
Jesus.
who he is Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, aka Superman. Yeah.
It's a burden I wish you didn't bear.
I know, and here's the thing, like, it's not just on looks, because,
Right.
like,
That's a big part, though. Let's be
it
honest.
is a big part, of course, but it's not just that, right? Because, like, look, it's a lot of tall, buff, white guys with great bone structure. It's not a lot, actually. No, it's not. But in Hollywood, at least, they're
Right, in
thin.
Hollywood.
Like, look at the nigga who just played him, Henry Cavill, like, hot.
Although I did
But
watch that one video you sent where they were like showing David the last one, and I was
mhm.
like, oh, I didn't notice how weird his mouth is to me.
What?
His mouth is weird.
Anyway, baby.
Especially because the new one is just like kind of perfect, honestly. The
Oh, you
other
talking
like
about
they
Henry
show
Cavill? You think his mouth is
Cavill,
weird?
I was like his mouth is like he has a weird mouth shape.
No, you were probably watching the fucked up CGI of him
Really?
because there was like a version of like the Justice League or something like that where they had to do reshoots after he had already grown a beard for another movie he was
Oh,
shooting.
maybe
And
that's
so
what it
they
was.
CGI'd out his
That could be
beard
it
and it's this
then.
weird, uncanny, rubbery, fake looking mouth.
That
I
could
remember
be
like
it.
his mouth like,
What else is he in? What else is he in
oh, Henry
as an
Cavill?
actor? Yeah.
Oh my god! So he was in Mission Impossible. He was in the Witcher series.
Okay.
He was in the Tudors. Where I first saw him, he was maybe like in his early 20s, maybe
Mhm.
late teens. The Count of Monte Cristo. That's where I first
Okay,
saw
I've
him. He
gotta
was
see
a
some other shit
little.
then. I gotta
Okay,
see
wait,
some of this shit from him.
he was little Henry Cavill.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like
CGI is crazy.
I know, right? So yeah, Henry Cavill, very attractive, clearly, like super handsome.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so but it's not just about looks because I never went Google for Henry like I am about David.
Mm.
So I did not seek out this information. YouTube fed it to me.
Okay.
No, for real, because like I follow new rock stars. I love new rock
Uh-huh.
stars. Eric Voss,
Mhm.
woo, very cool. So I've been
Mm.
following new rock stars for years, and so whenever there's like a new Marvel anything or like pop culture something, they usually do like these big breakdowns and then like all the Easter
Mm.
eggs and like things that you didn't catch. So after I went to go see Superman, I was like, oh, now I can finally watch the new Rockstars video because I was avoiding it. I didn't want spoilers. So once I watched the new Rockstars like videos that they had about Superman, after that YouTube started feeding me more and more like Superman content, which then led me down the rabbit hole of watching these video essays about Superman. And like I was always a Marvel girly. I still am. But so like I never really was into Superman like that. I didn't really know much about him, and now I have kind of like more of an appreciation for the character. And then after that, things about the actor started popping up on my YouTube, and that's when I actually started to see like David Corn Sweat and not Superman. And
Mm.
I was just like, oh my god.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
And then also
mhm.
he gives like he might be part of the spicy gang. Like I'm not diagnosing anybody off of some
Neuro sassy.
yeah,
That's
I'm
gotta be
not
a new
diagnosing
one.
anybody off of a
Right.
couple of interviews, but just like little things that I've seen, like, you
Quirks.
know, like little quirks, little things like how he talks, little movements, little potential stems, vocal stems,
Yes, yes.
um, a little bit of flat affect, like,
Yep.
face and vocally,
It's
kind
more
of being
when you're
literal with some
attuned.
jokes. Yeah,
Yes, when
yeah,
you're
like
attuned to it, you see it so clearly in people.
right, and I've watched a good amount of interview and him just being him that I'm
Yep.
like, I'm seeing it every time he talks, and I didn't go in trying to see it, obviously, like,
Right,
but like the
right.
more I saw of him, I was like, oh my god, and he just he like endeared became endearing to me, and on top of the fact that he's physically attractive, like he's 6'4"
It's
and
almost
really
dangerous,
fucking cute.
really.
It
So
is
dangerous.
really fucking cute. He's from Philly too, like.
Get out of here, Philly nigga.
Mhm.
Wigga.
I'm like, don't nobody. I was just in Philly literally a couple hours ago. It don't be motherfuckers like that just walking around like it's annoying.
Right.
But anyway, I'm just like, I hate that I like can still find
Mhm.
these fucking Anglo-Saxon motherfuckers attractive, and this is how you know that
Mhm.
like it's not a choice.
It's not a choice.
Because I would not, I would choose to not find not
I
only
can't tell you
white
the
men
last
but
time.
men in general at this
I mean,
point.
that
I would
I
choose
told
to
my
not
bestie that
yeah, I would
I
choose to not find men
yeah,
attractive, but
it would be
especially
so much easier
Christ.
on my life if I was just a lesbian, honestly.
Yeah,
But I mean, although I do hear from other lesbians that like if you're more of a femme lesbian, you're dealing with like
a
more
stud
masculine lesbians. Yeah, if you're dealing with studs, you're pretty much going to encounter
dealing
the
with
same shit,
a more toxic nigga. Cause some of them
which
top
is
like
insane.
you know who my bestie was in my early 20s, right?
Hmm.
I had to deal with her relationship travel with all these fucking studs she was dating. All these studs was like uber niggas. Like
Yeah,
they was like where you give narcissistic niggas the playbook.
right,
Cause it's like they a bitch too. So
right.
typically kind of get these things, but then they've learned through the system how to be a fuck nigga.
That's
And
crazy.
it's like it's terrible. Like these bitches are
That just shows how patriarchal our society is.
that even a
Honest.
bitch
Even
who
if
is
it,
more masculine will turn out to be a fuck nigga. Like it's so true. Like,
uh,
it's so funny. It's this one creator. I love her. Her name is Glam Niger. That's
mhm,
her handles, and she does bomb ass fucking makeup. She's everything.
mhm,
Um, and she's a lesbian, and she has this
mhm.
whole video where she runs down. She's like, "I had a stud once tell me I had a stud," and it's like some of the most toxic, ridiculous, ignorant, dangerous shit
Yeah,
being in relationships with studs.
yeah.
And I was
It's
just
it's
like,
it's wild the shit I've heard. I'm like,
yeah.
this is the woman that did that to you? Unbelievable to me.
Some of the most toxic shit. Like I remember I was
Because
listening to
I'll
this
fight
one.
a nigga. I will fight a man. I can't imagine a bitch coming to me on some
We are
wild shit. I will
squaring
fuck
up.
you up.
We are squaring
Like
up. But I'll never forget. It was one time I went to this person's house, and you know who I'm talking about. After
Mm-hmm.
her and her girlfriend got into like a huge fucking fight. Because this is another thing, and this is a stereotype that unfortunately is kind of true. At least of the lesbians that I know, they move quick. Like the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
U-Haul, that's a real thing. Because she's lived from in the time that we was friends. She lived with 2 people.
Mm.
Right, in like an 8-year period, she had 2 different people like
Mm-hmm.
living with her. So anyway, this one bitch that they used to get into fights with, she used to get into fights with. I come over because she called me. You know, they have a fight. It's 2 broken knives in the sink, and I was like, "What happened?" She was like, "I tried to stab that bitch as she closed the door, and I broke it." I was like,
How you breaking knives? That's
"There's
crazy. I'm
a
breaking
hole in the
dishes
wall."
up
I
in
was
here.
like, "I can't."
That's a
It was like
wild.
toxic as hell. It's crazy. I'm
It's
like,
a
that's
lot.
what it's like. You're a woman, but like you got that
But
dog
it's
in you.
but it's weird because like I've only ever did with males, like biological males, cis males. And there are times where I'll be like, is this a bitch? Because like the art like just to like I go back and look at some emails and don't ask me why I have emails with nigga. Long story. Emails or text messages with somebody. I'm like, why did I ever like now that I am more healed than I was at that time?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back and I'm like, why did I ever engage in this? Like today, that would never be a conversation. I'm what?
Yeah.
No, ma'am. Like, yeah, but it's insane. The thing is that we've been conditioned to think we should tolerate that.
Yeah. Compact. We talked about that before, right? Compulsory heterosexuality. And then there's like the roles that
Yes.
we're expected to play within that, which is just like so obnoxious.
We're labeled as emotional.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, these niggas are crazy emotional. And not just
They've
anger.
rebranded their
Not just
emotion
anger.
as anger. No, but like anytime they get
It's not
emotional,
always just anger. Sometimes
it's
it's not even
expressed as anger. So they'll
It,
be frustrated, they'll be sad, they'll be scared, but it all comes out as anger because that's the only acceptable male
well, a lot of times it comes out as
expression of it.
control too.
Mhm.
It comes
Girl,
out as
how do we get on this? I want to bring it back.
white men.
Right, this is what I'm saying. This is how we always know. Look, y'all get on my last fucking nerves. Y'all are actually everything that is wrong with this world. But sometimes below the border gets a little happy and wakes up
Have you
because y'all
ever
be
been
doing
attracted to a
shit
black
shit.
man?
Yeah,
Honestly, you.
yes.
I've never heard you
Rare.
accept who
Well, in real life, we're like a celebrity.
anything.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Pierre, that's Mufasa.
Okay, he is fine. I think
Aaron,
he's universally
that's
fine.
Mufasa.
He's universally. I can't think of anybody on the planet, male, female, black, white, whatever, who wouldn't be like, "That's a fine ass man."
Exactly.
Period.
So,
A fine ass human. Human. Okay. So give me someone else though.
like that's never really been my type, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean,
And that's what's
poppies.
so
Now,
interesting about you.
I know, but no, poppies trump everybody because
Oh
it's
yeah.
both
Puerto
in
Ricans are
real
cute.
life. It's both in real life and it be some celebrity poppies. But like,
No,
you talk
I
about
fuck
real
with
life,
the Puerto Ricans.
you talk about real
Yeah.
life crushes. Me and poppies go together real bad.
I can
Real
concur on
bad.
that one. Yeah.
Real bad.
You know who my one person is.
Mm-hmm. And that's
I don't
why
care if I'm married for 20 years. Goodbye. If this bitch came to me and said, I want you, done.
exactly because they got me on. They got me in chokehold. That's my real weakness.
I
But
agree.
I don't feel bad about liking poppies.
Me either. Yeah,
That doesn't make me feel any kind of. I don't feel like I'm betraying my ancestors.
to some extent.
What do you mean?
I mean, because poppies are like not white, but they're also like not niggas. You know what I mean? Like it's something about it. It's just like it's a good medium. Cause like niggas be having like this shit on their elbows, like that like they scraped up elbows and like fucking ashy ass
Do we
arms.
have some internalized anti-blackness we have to work through, big sister? I'm dead ass. What is that?
I think about it. The weenus that black people have is crazy. Every nigga has a scraped up elbow. Show me one nigga without a scraped up elbow for real. We all got the like I fell off my bike type elbow.
You know what, big sister? Now I need a glass of wine and
Y'all
let's not
can't take the truth. Y'all can't take the truth.
And me, somebody who's not personally attracted to black guys, don't even like hearing that. Like, why would you say that?
So okay, here's my thing with black, and mind you, I've dated one of Puerto Rican officially. I fucked with another one, but I've never dated a white man. I've only dated either Puerto Ricans or black men, and I will have to say the only thing that ever makes me unattracted to black men is ashiness. Y'all gotta y'all niggas have to. It's not even hard. You can go put olive oil on your ass. You go in your cabinet. I'm sure y'all got olive oil. Put some kind of motor oil.
Ham spray.
Fucking something, bitch. Motor oil will do.
Yeah, that dry ass skin has got it.
Moisturize your skin. Okay?
Yo, you know what I like about poppies the most? A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, at least the ones that I be, you know what I mean? Yeah. They take care of themselves. Like, they not metro, but they always keep their hair cut, eyebrows are done. The one nigga, remember I was telling you that I was, he had his nails painted at one point. I was like,
wow. It's something about it.
He's so fine.
A lot of these niggas think they're the prize, and they walk around ashy like you just supposed to be happy they like you.
You know what? That's what mostly, like, yeah, that's what fucks me up a lot about, like, at least the black men that have tried to hit on me for the most part, is there's this misogynoir that is internalized in the black community where, like, a lot of black men grew up without a father and they became the man of the house. And so their mom lets them talk to them in the old kind of way. And then they assume that every girl has quote unquote daddy issues. And so I've been turned off so many times because I have vivid memories of there being times where like I was about to argue with the guy who started out flirting with me because I'll never forget. I was at the Walmart in Cherry Hill getting tires. I'll never forget because it was the first time this happened to me. And I felt this visceral reaction. I'm sitting there, talking to the guy, getting the estimate about to, okay, everything that I wanted on my tires. Right. And I remember I said something. He was like, girl, you don't even need to be talking like that. You need to this, that, and the other. Like in a quote unquote flirting, like, girl, you don't need to be talking about it. Don't talk like that. You don't need that.
But it was condescending as fuck.
No, it was kind of like,
I'm schooling you.
Yeah, I was schooling you, but in trying to be cute, front of like, girl, you don't even need all that. You don't need to talk like that. Be quiet. Like he thought he was being cute, and he's like, I've seen girls who like that shit, who like a guy who's like being their authority. I've seen it, and like when a nigga talks to them like that, they'll be like, whatever. Yeah, I do need it.
This is why I have a female black mechanic to this day. I take my car to a black bitch.
But you know what I mean? It's like, so he was talking to me and I could tell he was like trying to tab me up. He was being like, girl, you don't even need all that. Da, 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 da. He was like, be quiet. Like, what you need is this. You need to be like that. Blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, I know what I need for my car. And it changed the whole like tone. After that, he was like, all right, okay. And I was just like, do you think that I didn't say this, but I'm thinking to myself, like, do you think that you're being cute with me? Like by talking down to me or like thinking that you can they do. And that's because unfortunately there are a lot of women who
think
have that, who
think
it's attractive, who's like, oh, I just need somebody to put me in my place. Not realizing that a lot of that is tied to daddy issues. Of not having a male authority figure in their life. And so there's like this yearning that gets conflated with sex, because there's a total difference between having a man that you trust and that you submit to, that you're in a relationship with, and a man that
Right.
you trust and you can submit to, that like there's no expectation of sex, and in fact you just like you trust
Right.
them in like implicitly as somebody who will protect you, who
Well,
doesn't want anything
as
from you.
someone who would be categorized as with daddy issues,
Hmm.
it's even bigger because I know women who have fathers in their life that do that same shit.
Right, because
It's
it's
like,
about the relationship with that person. Just because they're
yeah,
physically there doesn't mean,
right,
just because they're physically there doesn't mean they're present. So I'm
right,
saying like,
right,
so yeah, so there's a lot of people with daddy issues even if the dad was in the house. But you have these guys who were made the male of the house who grew up thinking that they
right.
could talk any kind of way to women because they could talk their way to their mom and not be disciplined. And then
Yep.
there's a lot of women who are groomed to be pick me's because their worth was tied to their relationship to a man.
And you
And then also
witnessed this authority kind of being like misused in your household,
exactly,
right?
exactly. So that kind of shit works with us. It's like I feel like every time a black guy has like that I've at least that I've caught that he's been flirting with me, it's been that kind of aggressive, like, I'm your daddy type shit. I was like, actually, I'll call my actual father Sergeant Barfield, and that army training to come out real quick if you threaten his
Yeah.
daughter. Plain and fucking.
Ooh,
And
baby.
so I think that's what turns me off the most. It's not even really like a physical thing. It's more so like an energy
Yeah.
and like this diversion
Yes.
expectation. Like you're not
Absolutely.
finna talk to me like that. And I feel like that's why poppies get me a little bit more because a lot of the times, like I hate to do the whole like stereotype thing because they're not all like this. But
Right.
the ones that I encounter, a lot of them are like
Kind of
very
sweet.
romantic and like
Yes.
they like shower you and like they are not afraid to show
Mhm.
how they feel and they're passionate. And
I
it's like,
agree.
firstly, as an autistic person, I need overt, which is nice. Overt always cuts through any kind of communication or misunderstanding. Um,
Mm.
but also just being like, like oh, like
Yeah.
the whole like Morticia Gomez type shit. Like that's how I feel like I feel like
Ah,
I'm Morticia and I'm
yeah.
looking for my Gomez. This motherfucker who knows he got a bad bitch who
Mm.
is powerful
And he
and
might not even be the most attractive thing out there, but it's like the way he treats you, you're like, fuck it, I'll take a 4'2" bitch. Any that.
no,
Look at Prince. Prince alone.
I
Think
don't know
about
for
Prince. Prince. No, Prince was bagging some bad bitches.
this is
That
true
motherfucker
in
was
a kitten heel
in a
and
kitten heel and a leotard. Like,
hips.
and why was that? There's been it's on Instagram. I've been coming across these videos of his girlfriend talking about like, yeah, we would come home and he would have bubble bath ready for us, like
Yeah, where he's
get in the bath and he bathing us. Like, y'all motherfuckers don't understand. You need to take care of it. You can literally like here's the thing, and this might not be true for everybody, but I will say I'm okay with a nigga having multiple bitches as long as when I'm with him, I'm cared for. I'm at the point where I'm almost thinking I'm polygamous to some degree. And not so much that like I would be polygamous. Like, yeah, I feel like I want a relationship at this point that's kind of like free flowing. Like
Mhm.
you can do you and I can do me. But when we together, it is what it is. And it's fulfilling and it's rich and it's because like people like Prince give you that energy like his girlfriends is like, yo, he would come and he would bathe us and he would like put the oil on us and all that shit after. What? Fuck who you wanna fuck if you giving me that? What? Like because I personally, it's gonna take me like 3 to 4 weeks just to even like process what that was. You know what I'm saying? So do what you
Yeah.
need to do until I'm ready for you again because that's a lot. And also, I'm the kind of person that like I'm independent of another person. So like I don't need you around all the time. You give me that kind of energy, I need about a month to process that, get back to me, and then I can
Mhm.
deal with you. You know what I mean? Like I'm that's how I am. So everybody's different. There are some people who are made for the traditional monogamous idea that we have of a relationship,
Mhm.
and that works for them. I'm not like that. I am monogamous in the sense that like I enjoy me personally dealing with one person at a time, but
But you don't require that they do the
I
same
don't
thing.
require that of them. I just want to be like, listen, if I say that if we have a certain time we're going to meet up, like okay, like we meet up on my birthday type thing, or we meet up on oh okay, like every third Wednesday of the month is our day. Just be consistent. Just be consistent on what you say you're going to do. And other than that, I don't give a fuck because I enjoy the time with myself. That's my
That's
only thing.
yeah, that's
That's
interesting
how I
because
run.
like I am to some degrees a little similar but different. So I
Mhm.
am very, very, very comfortable being with myself and being in my own energy. However, when I do, it's very few and far between. But when I do encounter another person's energy that I crave, I want
Mhm.
that energy all the time.
All the
And
time.
but only that person's energy. And they're the
Mhm.
only person that I want to give that energy to too. Like I've never found myself firstly, like I said, like the heavy like attractions, are very few and far between. Like I have crushes, but it's
Right.
different between like, okay, I can't stop talking about this person, I'm being annoying type shit. That's very few and far between.
Mhm.
And because of that, like I don't know, like I feel like I'm okay being by myself unless I am with that kind of energy.
Mm.
So it's like if
Mm.
I with that kind of energy, like I crave it every day, all day. I'm thinking about it all the time. It's like nothing I do. Like I like everything reminds me of this person. Everything makes me think about how I feel when I'm in their energy.
Mm.
And so like I want that like all the time. But when I don't have
Mm.
that, I would much rather be by myself than be in an authentic energy or in a place that
Yeah.
drains my energy.
Mm.
Space or situation that drains my energy.
Yeah.
So yes, I feel like that's why I'm still single. But like once I'm booed up, I'm gonna be like,
It's done. Yeah.
yeah,
And
like
I
she
think
locked,
that's
she locked
ultimately
it
what
down.
that's what marriage should be. Cause like I was almost gonna say, like, oh, you get tired of that energy eventually. But like, in hindsight, I'm like the person I was married to wasn't authentic. So
Hmm.
that energy that I was attracted to wasn't going to stay consistent, you
Right,
know?
because like for me, you know me, socializing most of the time drains me unless it's authentic, unless I'm talking to somebody that I
That's why you and
genuinely
I can have a 5 to 6 hour long
because
conversation.
we recharge each other, we energize each other. There's
Right?
very few people in this world. And actually there's one person that I used to be really, really, really close friends with that part of me
Mm,
feels like reaching out to them because they're the only other person that I have not been attracted to, like, that
right.
I would have the same kind of conversations that I'm having with you.
Yes.
We lived
Yes.
together for a year, and like I'm promising, like we would. I'm talking about
Okay.
the person I used to live
Okay.
with for a year in Philly. Yes,
Oh,
I'm telling you, like we would hang out
okay. You haven't
and
talked to her?
like almost in like 2 years,
Oh,
almost 2 years.
wow.
Yeah, because she was
And
part
y'all
of the friend
aren't on
group that
bad
I.
terms or anything,
Well, it
but
was because she
yeah.
was part of the friend group that like
Oh, I
I
see. But
cut out.
y'all personally didn't have it a thing, any kind of like bad energy.
No.
You should
Yeah.
reach out.
So
You
yeah, I
should.
think I'm gonna reach out to her. But like, cause
Yeah.
like, yeah, we would literally like whenever we would like hang out, like, we usually it was so funny. We would go to like a party or like a bar or something like that with our friend group, and then both of us almost always wanted to leave at the same time and
Let
leave
me say
early.
right.
And we would like dip out and like we would always use each other as an excuse. Like I always had a car and most of the time she never did. And so I would be like, oh, I'm about to leave. And she'd be like, oh, Tiara's my ride. I'm going with her or vice versa. She'd be like, oh, I'm about to leave. I'm like, oh, actually you too and drop you off. And the funny thing is we would be tired of the party, but then I would go to drop her off and then we would sit in my car for 2, 3
And
hours and
talk.
talk.
Right. You know what? She had good energy. reach out
Yeah.
there. 'Cause I remember that one time when me and Noah stayed for a summer.
Mhm.
Were we
Mhm.
there that whole 2 weeks
I
at
think
your
so.
house?
Yeah.
Y'all were in very close quarters, essentially, because it was like
Yeah.
her room, your room, and then the
And then
kitchen.
the kitchen was in the middle. Yeah.
And I remember even feeling very warm and safe there, even in those smaller quarters. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, and I think anytime you can be with somebody in tight quarters or like limited resources, like if you're, in they don't have a lot of money or whatever. And that's why like our guest host in our next episode that you guys are gonna hear,
Uh-huh.
uh that's a similar situation with she and I. Like um that's why she and I had bonded so much because like she even had said to me like watching she watched me be a mom, and that's what made her feel like she could be a mom.
Mm.
And that's because I've always felt a bit of insecurity about around my motherhood, and like because I never felt like I was very motherly. Like growing up, I always felt like I'm not feminine enough or something, like, or I'm not empathetic enough. And like the older I've gotten, I'm just like, bitch, you are hella empathetic. Like
You're such a mom, Mimi. Like, but
I
like in
really,
your own way, you're like you're not trad wife. Of course not.
I'm
But
not
like
sure.
I think I told you, like, yes, growing up, you were not very affectionate. Even to this day, you're still not super like touchy feely affection. That's not
No.
your thing.
uh,
But I'll never forget. I remember when I started to see the like changes in like you. I was like, oh
with
my god,
Noah.
she's so pregnant. Like, no, even when you were pregnant. Remember, so this was before I moved
Uh,
in with you and you were still
oh
teaching dance and I
yeah.
would drop you
Hmm.
off.
Hmm.
So you was never rude or anything like that. But like whenever we would say goodnight, you would just be like, oh night girl. But this one time you was like, make sure you let me know when you get home. And I was like, okay. And then it took me a little longer than I thought to get home. And like I wasn't even
Uh-huh.
home yet. And you called me, you was like, hey, are you home yet? And I was like, yeah, I just got into the complex. And you was like, okay, I was making sure you're okay. And then I hung up the phone and I was like,
I know I do surprise people with that. I feel like I surprise myself sometimes. Like, yeah, and just even like the past couple of weeks, like ever since Noah started school, I'm like really conscientious about his lunch. I don't know why I'm like
mm-hmm,
making a big deal about that. Like I want to make sure that he's not at school embarrassed about his lunch. I want to make sure he eats. Like,
mm-hmm.
I just didn't know that that was inside of me, to be honest. Like, um,
Cause you're not
so
that way like outwardly. Like you're a Sagittarius sun, and even though you're a
that's
Taurus moon, that doesn't necessarily mean that
mhm.
you are outwardly like you're like Taurus is more like a homemaker and comfortability and grounded and
Yeah,
down to earth. That doesn't already always necessarily
translate
translate to
outwardly.
being like, I'm a Cancer sun. So I do
Mhm,
outwardly like
mhm,
to take care of people. Like you saw my apartment, cozy, warm,
mhm,
decorated, full of
mhm.
pillows and blankets and candles and flowers. Like that's just how
Yeah,
I like and plants and shit. Like that's just naturally how I am.
right.
And how people see me.
But it's
Um
who you are that expands to what people see. So what you're saying is like your Cancer sun because it's your sun. It's
mhm,
who you are, but it's also what people see.
right.
So my sad son, people see like kind of messy, kind of everywhere, kind of like not attached to anything. But
Mhm,
my Taurus moon is who I truly am when you get to know me. Same thing with your Aries moon.
right.
That's why you a bitch like I'm in Mexico, I'm in Spain, I'm in Greece. Bitch,
I move
like
big babe.
the way you travel, people should expect that out of me as a Sag.
And then they
But
would
that's who
expect me to
you are.
be the more the homemaker, which again, in some ways I am,
Right.
because I love that. Like I cannot wait until we move and I can make my room
Mhm.
and my space the way I want it. Because that is very much important to me. Even making small spaces. You saw that little shoebox. I made it cute. This is naturally who I am. Like I like
That
to,
might be the next love to hate. I think I love to hate astrology. No, I'm sorry. I
we
think
talked
I
about
hate
that. I
to.
was gonna say,
I did we
yeah, a
hate to
couple
love
weeks ago.
astrology?
Yeah.
Did we?
And that's when I also said that I hate to love basic bitch shit. And then we realized that we don't actually hate to love it. It's just
We
that we
just love
hate
it.
that people have such a negative like view of
Right.
or
I
assumptions
forgot we
about
talked
it.
about that. Did we do tarot then? Because
That was
I
kind
also
of
hate
looped
to
in
love
with
tarot.
that. But we you know what? We can talk about spirituality and all that good shit at another point.
Alternative spirituality. That might be
Yes.
the next hate to love.
Spirituality, not religion.
Yes. Yes. Ooh. All right, y'all. You know what the next episode is. So we
Exactly.
said, watch your dancer or what?
I'm gonna go back when I'm editing this. I'll take notes and
Yeah,
figure out what the
hey,
fuck we talked
we'll
about.
figure out what we talked about.
But right now, bitch, my mouth's cotton dry. I done ran out of my coffee.
And I need to take a quick nap before I do this radio show thing.
Yes,
Live a little bit.
exactly. So,
I got an hour before I need to be there.
oh shit. Okay, big sister. Well, hope you don't oversleep. If you need me to call you and wake you up, let me know.
I got a timer. I'll be fine.
I'll still probably. So what? 9:45. I'm gonna call you and
It's not far from here, so I'm probably gonna set my timer for like 30 minutes, 25
would
to
it be
30
safer
minutes.
to go and then take a nap in your car at the place?
I might do that, honestly. That might be safe because I am
Yeah.
used to that, unfortunately, because of my
At
my
least not lately.
lifestyle.
Not lately, baby.
Not lately. No, but
But at
honestly,
some
it's
point.
weird. I'll sleep in my car in the parking lot in my house, like at my complex, because it's just a thing now. Like instead of me, if I know I'm only taking a nap, I will sleep in my car. It's crazy, bro.
Girl.
I
That's
know.
it. Look, we got topics for days, y'all. Stay tuned because we got so many shits we can talk about. Clearly.
Very clearly. Yeah, just stay
So
tuned
yeah,
with us. And yeah.
we're gonna have guests. We're evolving, we're growing, and we're excited to have you guys along for the ride.
Yes, sir.
Our big sister, as always, it's
All right.
great talking to you. Love
Bye,
you.
sis.
Bye.